Hello, Board Wars. It's your friend, Gus, the Purple Dragon, the Commissioner himself, coming to you with a big announcement. We've got a few announcements, actually, and you might be a little bit confused. This isn't something we normally do. We usually do a direct. We usually wait for a ceremony to give big announcements. But today I don't really want to talk to you first as a commissioner. I want to more so talk to you first as a friend, someone who you all kind of know well by now. I've got a huge announcement that has affected my life personally, and I was just kind of waiting for the right time to let all of you know, and a good amount of you do already. My wife, who I married this past year in 2025, is pregnant, and I'm gonna have a child, and that's crazy to think about. That's awesome. That's like the best thing that could or has ever happened to me, and I'm very excited. A few things come along with that. A lot is going to be changing in my life, and my main thing is, how do I make all of my endeavors sustainable? How do I make Board Wars work? I want all of you to know, whether you realize this or not, you guys are some of the most important people to me in my life. Like, this is one of the most important things to me in my life. I've spent so much time doing this with you guys, and it is literally my favorite thing. Like, I do a lot of things. I really do. I don't know if you guys know me. You know about all the church stuff I do. You know about all the summer camps I do for kids and teenagers. You know about the business and the board games, and I've got my plate full. And this might be my favorite thing that I do. You guys are my favorite people. And I could not give this up for the world. But I do need to find ways to make it more sustainable, especially since I have a lot planned for you guys. I have a lot planned for us as we grow and as we step into more and more seasons with each other. This does have a caveat, maybe an unfortunate caveat that some of you might be sad to hear. Some of you might be excited. Maybe I would doubt anybody is excited about this, but maybe, maybe there are people who hate this right now. The events are going to end. I know, it's kind of sad. Drew and I put a lot of time into this event stuff, and it's really exciting. We had like a whole arc planned. We had a bunch of clues planned, but it wasn't the most important thing. And as it's kind of getting fleshed out, and as you guys are kind of learning about it and maybe getting into it, some of you haven't, I've just noticed that the time ratio for what we've gotten out of it and what we've put into it, it's just not enough. So we've put a lot of effort into this event stuff that I do think is really cool. And maybe one day we'll bring it back. So don't throw all your notes out entirely. Yeah, it was a huge thing that we were doing. And with the baby coming into my life, I'm going to have to limit my time in some way in Board Wars. And that's going to have to go. That's going to be it. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world, because we're taking those resources, we're taking that time that we were spending with those events, and we're using those resources in other areas that we think will be super helpful for you guys. The first thing I want to announce is something that I'm very excited to be working on, something that I'm doing with one of the captains in this league as kind of a partnership. We are launching a Board Wars sports kind of radio show parody that is going to be releasing every week. So it is a Board Wars podcast that I'm hosting with the captain of the Astro Bears, JD. And episodes are going to start airing the bye week going into Act 5. So I think at the end of the month of January, we're going to launch production, and every week you're going to be getting an hour-and-a-half podcast talking about news from around the league. We're going to be having some of you guys on, and we're going to be like talking about storylines and recapping past games and having GOAT debates and all of those things you would see like on a sports channel, but we're going to do it for Board Wars. So it's an hour-and-a-half long podcast. If you find keeping up with the league is difficult, because in order to do that, you have to rewatch streams that are hours long, this might be your saving grace to find out how people are winning and getting your news and information and having a little bit of fun with us too. So I'm really excited to announce that. That is awesome. That's something we're putting a lot of time in. And again, would I rather have the podcast or the events? And I think the podcast is going to be awesome. Now, other than that, we have a lot of announcements that are going to take in effect right now. Things that affect the game at large that you're going to be experiencing starting tonight. So these announcements were supposed to come out in Act 4, the start of Act 4, which was last week. But because we didn't have enough time to vote on these changes with the people that are important and that vote on those types of things in our community. And now we have had time to vote on these. So these changes that I'm about to announce to you, they're very big changes, but it is unanimously agreed upon that these changes will make the experience in the community better. The first big rule change that we're going to do is known as the Information Act. The Information Act is pretty simple. In prior Board Wars life, you could talk to other teams before the game privately and during the game. It was common in the Board Wars world to call somebody up and talk politics, or text somebody and try to get their alliances. That is not a thing anymore with the Board Wars Information Act. The rule states that zero strategy talk or hinted political affiliations are allowed to happen privately before or during the game. So those days of calling and texting, they're over. Instead, all conversations must happen verbally in the Discord where everybody can hear, or you can text in the game chat where everybody can see. Now, why are we doing this? We believe that there is a more honest political system that existed before that kind of thing that I was talking about, the calling and texting privately, became meta. Because this stemmed from a board game. You couldn't just pull somebody around the table privately and talk to them and strategize. And we think this restores that more honest system that we think is the most fair and accessible to all players. Meaning that, like, if someone is going to be teamed up on now, everybody on the board is going to be aware of it. Meaning, if I'm a player who's about to get teamed up on, it's not going to come out of left field. I'm going to know it's coming. And it will also increase the viewing experience of Board Wars by so much, because now everybody can see what is happening. Everybody can know. So it's a big step in reverting Board Wars to what it was meant to be. And we hope you guys are going to accept this change with open arms, because we all believe that this is what's best. Because of this, we understand that your turns might need extra times. You might run out of time on your turn. We are adding a timeout system. Every team now is going to have 3 timeouts. Those timeouts are going to last for 2 minutes. So 3 2-minute timeouts per team. These can be used whenever you want during the game. So if you're on your turn and you really need extra time to think, you could use one of your 3 2-minute timeouts. If you need to talk to your team privately during your turn and man, you really got to strategize, you can use one of your timeouts. If you really want to talk politically and man, I'm about to make a big decision, I need to hear what you guys think, you can use one of your timeouts. During timeouts, no gameplay can occur. It is strictly talking. It's for thinking. It's for conversing. It's not for playing, so you can't do anything on your turn during those 2 minutes. So it's not the same as having extra time on your clock. It is a timeout to talk. Timeouts can be called whenever you want. You can call a timeout during somebody else's turn. You can call a timeout during someone else's timeout. And why would you do that? Well, because if it is your turn, or if it is your timeout, you control the clock. You control the dialogue. So if it's your turn, I, as another player, can request to talk politically with you during your turn. You can turn me down. And if you do, I, the GM, am going to mute that player server-wide. They can't talk on your turn if you don't want them to. So maybe you call a timeout and you're talking to this other team. That other guy can call a timeout if he's not allowed to talk and say, hold on, I do have something to say. And we would pause your timer and we would go to their timeout. And what we're really hoping is that this is going to add a layer of strategy, that this is going to allow everybody to have a fair chance at communicating. Because even if you're muted, you can still hear everything, right? And now here's the deal. If you break this rule, and I think this part's really funny, you're going to be charged with conspiracy, which is hilarious. If charged with conspiracy, you could either get suspended for multiple weeks, or depending on how bad it is, we might also take tiebreakers away from your team. So this is a very serious thing that we're trusting that all captains are going to uphold. And if we find out that anyone's been sneaky about it, consequences will ensue, and they just have to, right? I mean, we're kind of operating as if all of us have good faith, and I'd like to continue doing that, so that is a big rule. That is the Information Act, explained, effective immediately, and that's going to be effective for tonight's game. The next rule change is to assist characters. You are now able to have multiple assist characters, whereas before you could only have one per game. Now you could have as many as you want, but you can only have one at a time. So if your one assist character dies, you can go and get another one. Now the change is, other than that, your assist character doesn't count as a part of your team for survivable purposes. So if your whole team dies, your 5 characters die, and your one assist character is still alive, before you would have continued. Now, we're just going to flip that assist character over. So this change is more of an effort to make the assist characters feel like an assist instead of a part of your team. Whereas before it was like, oh, you could win purely with an assist character. Now it's like, no, they can assist you. They're more expendable now because you can get another one, so you might as well throw them into fire's way, and they're more of a sidekick, which is what they were initially intended to be. The next thing that I want to announce is vice captains. The vice captains are basically people where if the captain is unavailable, let's say they die tomorrow, this is the emergency next person that we would go to. And they have different implications for some teams. Some teams' philosophy is, oh, my vice captain one day is going to take over my team or another team. That's not necessarily true. Not all of these people will do that. And there's also no official responsibilities for the vice captain. It is simply like a second face to the team. And somebody that we think is worthy of that second face, or that the other captains think are worthy of that second space. And those people are, for the Sun Division first, Cereal for the Barbecue Beavers, Pianoman for the Purple Dragons, Slushy for the Smoky Salamanders, Llamas Kalbrus for the Mama Llamas, and then in the Moon Division, we have Dr. Luke for the Los Cuties, Straw for the Ruby Raptors, Mr. Java for the Jelly Jets, and Max Power for the Astro Bears. These are now people who've been promoted to that vice captain position, and wear it with pride. There's no official responsibilities, but again, for some teams, they're kind of treating it as, you have a foot in the right direction for if you wanted to pursue a captain role in the future. Other teams, it's not like that. So talk to your captain, talk to, you know, whoever you want to clarify those things, but you are now a vice captain. Congratulations. Round of applause, everybody. Yeah. The next thing I want to be doing with you guys is going over some of these items here. We have redone the item deck. There's 125. One of them is secretive and will not be added to the deck until later. But I want to go over some of these changes with you guys officially so you all kind of know what you're getting yourselves into. First, we have the Terrorblade. Your attacks hit all enemies in your tile, whereas before it doubled your attack. And we're kind of trying to get away from just, oh, my attack is ridiculous and high. So this, you know, has the opportunity to hit more people instead, which we thought was more true to the Terrorblade itself. Anyway, we did the Uno Draw 2 card, which there's 2 of in the deck, use to gain 2 items. So it's like a Loot Llama, but not as good. Next, we have the Totem of Undying. For 2 rotations, if you die, you immediately respawn at 25 health. So you need to consume this 2 turns before you believe that you're going to die. So you've got to time it right. But if you do, you respawn at 25 health. And if you're somebody who's trying to get past this, you really only need to kill them a second time at 25 health. So it's not impossible. Next is the Tesseract. Use your action in a tile to instantly gain its rewards. So think a Death Star, think a Summon, think, you know, one of those things. Doing this, however, kills you at the end of your turn. So are you willing to sacrifice a lower down card? If I see, because of the item rules, you know, you pick them up, you can't use an item until you've started your turn with it. Meaning if I'm a team that sees your lower down card with the Tesseract, I'm probably going to kill them, you know, like, and also for end of game situations, because you die at the end of your turn, but you redeem the reward immediately, you could do something like go into the Death Star, use it, kill another team, win before you end your turn and die. So cool stuff like that. Next, we reworked the Kryptonite. It still does do what it does with Superman, but now it also has a function. If you're holding it, any enemy you attack suffers blue attack for 1 rotation. Simple enough. There's 3 of them. Next is the Heart Container. Permanently increase your max HP by 25. Pretty good. Next is the reworked Lightsaber. Reduce your attack to 4, but ignore defense while attacking. I love this change because before it was double your net damage, which is just ridiculous. That is just insane. You could kill pretty much anybody in the game instantly with a good enough card, of course. Now it's like, oh, if I'm attacking someone with a high enough defense, it might be worth it just to, you know, or if I'm attacking like 4 to the 4th, I might as well use it. Like, all of my attacks will hit. So there are instances where it's very useful and instances where it's not as useful. And ignoring defense when attacking just means all 4 of your attacks hit. But again, there's only 4. So it's interesting. Think about it. Next is the Mirror Spell. You're going to use an action to clone a character. The clone is the same ability. If you guys remember what the clone spell was earlier this year, this is what the Mirror Spell now is. And then we reworked the clone spell to be something else. So the clone spell is now the Mirror Spell, and the new clone spell is different. Next is Pibble. Watch my belly. Use action to kill a random character on the board. Crazy, it can only happen 1 time. And it could be somebody on your team. So I wouldn't recommend using Pibble, and you can only do it if within range of water, of course, because how do you wash his belly without water? So I don't know if I'd recommend it, but teach their own, I suppose. Pibble. Welcome to Board Wars. And then the Wild Card. The Wild Card used to make all characters attack with a chosen color for 1 rotation. So if I picked blue, every character on the board for 1 rotation, including my team, would attack with blue. Green, black, red, etc. From there, Mjolnir got a change. Now your attacks hit all enemies in your 3x3 radius instead of just in your tile, because we upgraded it from the Terra Blade. So again, attacking more people, but less likely to kill people instantly is kind of what we were going for. Next, we did a challenge card. If you've played the game Here to Slay, whenever another player gains an item, receives a tile reward, or uses an action, you're going to roll to see if it works. Basically, the way that this works is I'm going to roll a d12, and the person I'm challenging is going to roll a d12, and this is explained on the Google Sheet. It is written down somewhere. But let's say I'm challenging this guy. We both roll a d12. The higher roll, tie goes to me, is going to win. If I win, that thing doesn't happen. If he wins, it does. Now, items that your team is holding can be exhausted as a modifier. So if I did a 12, so if I did like an 8 and he got a 12, I could exhaust a value 4 item and increase my number by 4, go up to 12, and then meet him. He could also exhaust items to go above me. So yeah, pretty simple. And there's only a few left. There's the holster. You may immediately use any item you pick up, so just kind of ignoring item rules for that character. And then next is the clone spell. Use your action to create multiple non-ability clones of any character. So again, the old clone spell became the mirror spell. The new clone spell makes like multiple of your guys. So it's on the Google Sheet. Depending on your rarity, you'll roll a dice, and that is how many clones there will be of that person. So yeah, very new items. Very exciting, I think, seeing all the thought that some of you guys even put into some of these items and suggesting them. And yeah, a little bit of new items as we're winding down into the playoffs. And that's why we're making all of these changes now, is we want to iron them out before the playoffs start. So, you know, we don't have any shenanigans. Because last year we added a bunch of stuff right when playoffs started. And there were some things that were a little crazy that if we had done it sooner, we could have maybe rectified by the time the real playoffs start. So that's why we're adding them now. Again, there will be 125. There's a secret one that will be added later. And also, the reason I have a bunch of assist characters out here is we're adding some new assist characters too. So I don't know how soon they will be added to the deck, but you can go on the Google Sheet and look at the list and see if any of your suggestions got added. Some of your guys' suggestions for that did get added, so that's very exciting. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I really just wanted to come on here and explain kind of what's going on in my personal life with all of these things. Again, no more events, but you probably will be seeing direct soon explaining information like this in the future. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys have any questions about the rules, and they are going to apply for tonight, any questions at all, ask in the game chat. I will be active and answering questions as I can. So guys, thank you all for playing this game. Again, you all mean so much to me. This community means so much to me. This game means so much to me. And I love that we get to share it together. Like, I really do. From the bottom of my heart, I do, and I love you, and thank you. So, I'll see you guys tonight for game 20 of the regular season. Adios.